name's Tiffany. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I was contemplating not posting a video today. I know there's a lot going on in the world, and I have postponed posting any fitness-related content on Instagram and Facebook. I've been dedicating both my stories and my feed to the protesters, but I did want to get something out on YouTube today, and it's not an easy platform to share other people's work on. So I did want to provide you guys with something that might be valuable right now. I didn't want to do a hardcore HIIT workout or ab routine or anything like that, but I do know that a lot of people have been kind of living on social media and online between the coronavirus and these protests. A lot of people are going to work 8 hours a day in front of their computer, and then they're spending the rest of their time scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, going down really dark rabbit holes. And I know that can be incredibly stressful. So I wanted to provide you guys with some stress relief. So we're just gonna do a little stretch routine today. Now it's not the time to do a crazy HIIT workout or an ab circuit that's gonna leave you sore for 5 days. Right now is the time to focus on your overall health, focus on your stress management. So if you've been staring at your computer screen for 16 hours, I want you to get up and take a walk. I know that if you're watching this video, you're still in front of your computer or your TV screen or whatever it is. So I think doing these stretches can be helpful, but I also think that it's a good idea for you to get away from all of your screens if that's possible. Do some meditation, do some yoga, do some stretching, talk to a friend, call someone. Don't let yourself get stuck scrolling through Instagram all day long. I know a lot of the posts that are being made are important, but you're not going to be able to make an impact if you just keep on draining yourself. So that being said, we're going to do a little stretch routine today. We're going to start off with some dynamic stretches to get the blood flowing, and then we'll end with some static stretches to get into deeper stretching poses. It can be a little dangerous to start off with static stretches because if your body's not warmed up and you hold a deep stretch for 15 or 30 seconds, you're just not going to feel great. So we're going to get the blood flowing first with some stretches where we're going to move through the range of motion rather than sitting at the final point. And then from there, we'll get in those deeper stretches. My hope is that you'll find this relaxing, or you'll find this re-energizing, or you'll find this stress relieving. So with that being said, we'll get started with a few stretches here. The first thing we're going to start with is just going to be a neck stretch. So I just want you to look to one side, forward, other side, and forward. We're going to do that 2 more times. So side, forward, and one last time to the side, and forward, side, and forward. And from there, we're going to do a little lower back stretch. So for this one, I just want you to softly bend your knees. You're going to bring your arms out. We're going to curve the back on the way down, and then we're going to stretch on the way up. So we're kind of arching the back and so you're getting in a nice stretch for both your back and front side of your body. We're going to do this just 3 more times. Really lean into the stretch. So 2 more. We come down, we curve the back, back up, open up. 1 more time. Down and back up. From here, we're going to do a couple of inchworms. So what I want you to do, hands down on the mat, walk it out into a plank. From here, we're going to come into a runner's lunge. So you're bringing 1 foot forward. I want you to rotate towards that leg, come back down, leg comes back, and then back up into the inchworm. I know that one's more complicated. We're gonna repeat it on the other side. So inchworm down, feeling the stretch in your hamstrings. Other leg comes forward. We rotate towards that leg, come back down, leg comes in, and we come back up. We're gonna repeat that 2 more times on both sides. Stretch your arms up overhead, come down, walk it out, leg comes forward. Really dig deep into that stretch. Arms come up, back down, other side. And remember, 1 more on each side. If you can, try to get a little bit deeper into this stretch than you did the first couple of times. And we're just gonna finish out with one more. Awesome. And from here, we're gonna do a little squat and stretch. So arms come up, we come down, touch the toes or at least reach for them. From there, we're gonna sit back into a squat, arms come up overhead and up. So it's stretch, squat, and reach. We're just gonna do 5 total. So arms come down, squat, reach overhead and up. We're in the last 2. Really get deep into it. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings here. Awesome job. And we're gonna come into some lateral lunges here. So just getting in that lateral movement. Legs are gonna come out nice and wide, toes pointed slightly outward at about 45 degrees. And from here, we're just gonna reach over to one side and the other. Stretching out those legs. Remember, we're focusing more on the stretch here than we are on getting any strength training in. A few more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Now that we're a little warm, we're gonna go right into some static stretches. So for these, we're gonna do them on the floor because who doesn't love stretching on the ground? We're gonna come onto our stomachs. So stomachs on the floor, head down on the floor, and we're gonna start off with just the quad stretch. So I just want you to reach for one leg, grab it, and we're just gonna hold this for a few seconds, lean into the stretch. Try to keep your hips down on the ground. If they have to come up a little bit, that's okay. And if this stretch doesn't feel good to you, you can always do a different quad stretch. You can always do a standing quad stretch. All right, and I'm gonna switch over to the other leg, but you can always hang out there for as long as you need to. And this is one of my favorite quad stretches because you don't have to focus on balance since you're not standing. So you can really get deep into the stretch and really feel your quad here. And second thing we're gonna do here is just gonna be an ab stretch. So for this one, we're gonna come up into Cobra. Your elbows start off on the mat, and if this feels good, you can come up onto your hand for a deeper stretch. If you feel any pain in your back, I want you to come right back down onto your elbows. But if you feel good, you can come up onto your hands for that deeper stretch. Stretching out the abs here. Try to keep your shoulders down while you're in this position. And again, we're just gonna hang out here for a few seconds. All right, and when you're ready, we're gonna come back down, and then we're gonna come up onto our knees. From here, we're just gonna come into child's pose. So coming back into child's pose, getting your hips as close to the mat as you can. And from here, I just want you to walk your hands over to one side. So just try to walk your hands over to the side, stretching out your obliques. Feeling that stretch all the way along your side and your lats and the side of your abs. And when you're all set, we're gonna walk over to the other side and just do the same thing here. Awesome, and from here, we're gonna come up onto our knees, and this is gonna set us up to come into a runner's lunge. So same position we were in the beginning, but we're gonna hang out here for a little bit longer. So front leg is at about 90 degrees. You're gonna bring your hands down onto the mat if you can, And from there, you're gonna straighten out your back leg as much as possible. So if your leg doesn't look as straight as mine, that's fine, as long as you can feel this stretch in your hip flexors. And unlike before, we're gonna either hold our hands here down on the floor, or if you're feeling really flexible today, you can try to come down onto your elbows. It's not necessary, but you'll feel a deeper stretch from here. We'll hang out here for a few seconds. And again, if you want to pause this video and hang out in your stretch for a little longer at any point, feel free to do that. All right, and from there, we're going to come back up. And we're just going to switch over onto the other knee. So other leg comes out, bends at 90 degrees, straighten that back leg out as far as you can. Hands come down to the ground, and if you can, bring your elbows down here for that deeper stretch. Breathing into that stretch, seeing how deep you can go. When you're all set there, we're gonna come into a seated position. And from there, we're gonna do a few more leg stretches. So first, we're gonna do a hamstring stretch. I want you to bring one leg out in front of you. The other leg is gonna stay bent. And so you're just gonna reach for your toe. You don't have to touch your toe if you're not there yet. If all you can reach for is your knee and you still feel a stretch in the back of your leg, that's where I want you to stay. If you can touch your toe, then hold it here. Again, wherever you feel the stretch in your hamstring. So if this doesn't feel like anything, you can bring your hands down onto the floor out in front of you. And when you're ready, we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, awesome. And from there, we're gonna bend one leg in. So one leg is bent at 90 degrees. The other leg is gonna cross over. And you're going to take your opposite arm, place it on the outside of that leg, and then we're just gonna twist away. So that you should feel this stretch in your outer glute. I know it's a little confusing. I know you probably feel like a pretzel right now. So if you can't figure it out, you can just pause this video and figure the stretch out for yourself. You should feel this in your outer glute. You should also feel a nice stretch in your torso. All right, awesome. And we're gonna switch sides, so same thing. Bend that leg, cross the other leg over, opposite arm on the outside of your leg, and we're just gonna switch. The one downside to working out here is that there's lots of bugs on the ground, but that's okay. We're gonna put our feet together for our last stretch down here. It's gonna be a butterfly stretch. So bring your knees as close to the ground as you can and bring your feet as close to your hips as you can. If that looks like this, that's fine. And if that looks like this, that's fine. Whatever works for you. If you'd like a deeper stretch here, you can also lean forward and you'll feel this a bit more. But just stop wherever you feel the stretch, wherever it feels challenging, but not like you're about to rip open. And we're just gonna pause here for a few seconds. All right, and when you're ready, we're gonna come up to standing for a few upper body stretches. And when you're there, we're just gonna start off with a tricep stretch. So both arms come up overhead, opposite hand to elbow, and opposite hand to shoulder with the other arm. And you should feel the stretch in your tricep, but you should also feel it a little bit in your shoulders. We're gonna hold this one for a few seconds. And when you're ready, we're just gonna switch sides. All right, and the last couple of stretches here for your back. I just want you to clasp your hands together. Your fingers can be interlocked, or you can just slap your hands together, whatever feels best for you. And we're just gonna lean forward, rounding out your back, and you should just feel a nice stretch along your upper back. This shouldn't feel like a very deep stretch, but that's not the point here. We're just trying to make sure that we get our back stretched. Okay, and last thing we're gonna do here is just gonna be a chest stretch. So I just want you to bring your hands up and back, squeezing your shoulder blades together and opening your chest as much as you can. So again, not a super deep stretch, but you should feel this one. You should feel your back muscles squeezing together. This is an important one, especially after being hunched over a computer or a phone all day long. So we're gonna hang out here for a couple of seconds. All right, and we're all set here. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for taking a break from your Instagram scrolling. I know that it's very important right now to be active online, to be engaging with our friends and families, but if you don't fill up your cup, you won't be able to help anyone else. So if you've been struggling during this quarantine, if you've been struggling during the protest, I encourage you to make time for yourself. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to do much to fight the fight or to help whatever cause you're passionate about. So I hope you enjoyed this stretch. If you did, save it for later. Share it with someone who might need to see it. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, because I am coming out with new videos weekly and they'll always be relevant. So I've been putting out some quarantine related videos, and this week I wanted to do something to help people relax in the midst of these protests. So I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.